All right, perfect. Call to order the Whatcom Transportation Authority Board of Directors meeting for Thursday, September 18th, 2025. Let's start with roll call, please.
All right, Donovan.
Here.
Hawkinson.
Here.
Forchise. We have
Scott's here.
yes. And we have a Lilyquist.
Yep.
Lund.
Here.
Sadhu.
Here.
And we have Stewart.
Here.
And Darwin.
Present.
And just coming up the stairs. And board member Lattenbach is arriving. We have board member Williams absent. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Item C, citizen communications. Each speaker is allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. Is there anyone in person who would like to speak to the board? Anyone online that would like to unmute and address the board? Do so now. All right, seeing none. Item D, public hearing, and we'll start.
I'm sorry, it wasn't very fast.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I'm just here to represent. Well, I guess I'm a paratransit customer, and we've heard that there's talk about raising the rates, and so I'm here to represent that would be it's a very difficult time to do that especially for paratransit customers. So that's what I'm here to represent, that point of view.
Thank you very much. Would anyone else like to unmute and address the board? All right. Thank you very much.
I'm Beth Marsaw, and I live in Ferndale. I don't ride the bus that often because, well, I used to when it was half-hour service, but then when it went to an hour, I mean, no. I'm one of the lucky ones who has a car. I feel really bad for those people who don't, and I wish that there could be more public transportation. I understand, the budget's stretched. So I'm just here to find out more about it, and I'm involved with United Blind of Whatcom County and other groups that are represent the people.
All right, thank you, Beth. Anyone else? All right. Thank you very much. Item D is a public hearing, and we're going to start off with a presentation of the Title VI report. Becky Kelly.
Yes, I'm here to present our 2025 Title VI report. This is a requirement of the FTA that we do this every 3 years to ensure that we are not on the grounds of race, color, or national origin be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. And one of the aspects of this is to make sure that people who have limited English proficiency under a certain threshold have access to critical documents. And for us, that is Spanish. And so we are asking to get public comment on this report.
All right, thank you. Any questions of a technical nature before we open the public hearing? Seeing none, we're opening the public hearing at 8:04. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes. Is there anyone in person or online who would like to address the board? Okay, seeing none. I didn't want to cut people off this time. We are going to close the public hearing also at 8:05. All right, board discussion. Questions? Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, so can we please describe our materials that we make available bilingually in Spanish?
Yeah, so we translate the transit guide in Spanish. We have those available. We translate our website. We have that available. And we do rider alerts. We have the handouts for the fare change proposal, as well as the service change proposal, and as well as our paratransit documents, so that we have access to services. We also have a service where you can call in, and if you state what language you speak, we will connect with the translator to get help planning your trip or any questions you might have. So we have a verbal translation service available. And so anything that is really critical to provide, we translate into Spanish.
That is great. What about ironically outreach for the Title VI report?
Oh, for this, we do all of our public hearing notices in both English and Spanish.
Great. Go ahead.
The Community Transportation Advisory Group, how often do they meet? Different, you get 53 people on it, but
I think they meet monthly, but I haven't been.
They meet quarterly.
Quarterly now, okay.
I mean, 53 do you get?
You know, Genevieve is on the line. She and Hayden, I don't know if Genevieve could unmute and say about how many people. And if she does.
Yeah, hi, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the Community Transportation Advisory Group, we meet about quarterly, and yeah, I would say between 15 to 20 people come to meetings, and then we do have the full email list of those 50 plus people. So there are a lot of people who receive the materials about the meetings, but may not be able to make it, since usually the meetings are around 4 to 5 p.m., so that doesn't work with everybody's schedule. So we do email out our agenda, and then afterwards we send out any materials that were presented on during the meeting, whether that's handouts or PowerPoints. Yeah, any other questions I can answer for CTAG?
Just that's big group. Thanks.
I was wondering, what translation service do you use? Do you use this live on the phone, or?
Yeah,
Because we use for board system and for the rest of the county.
yeah, so we have a service that we use for the phone service. And then we have someone that we use for written translation. The phone is.
Language line. Oh, language line.
Yeah, and then Gateway Languages for our written.
Thank you.
Right. Any other questions or comments? How about a motion? Anybody?
Move approval.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all of those in favor of approving the Title VI report, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you very much. Item E, board action, consideration of approval of amendment of the 2025 operating and capital budgets. Shonda.
Right, thank you, good morning. We're asking the board to approve actually a resolution number 360-25 that encompasses the proposed budget amendment. And what this is doing is it's aligning our operating expenses and our capital revenues and expenses with things that we've learned since the budget was approved. So the key points are, we identified in operating expenses about $600,000 that we could take out of our professional services. A lot of this is A&E work that we had planned that we would be able to get to this year, and then a little variety of things that went up. Budgets, wages and benefits. So that is about a net decrease of $638,000. And then we did have a couple of capital projects that we were in the budget that we're not doing this year, and they're actually vehicle purchases. We had 2 capital projects to buy vehicles for the waterfront service, 3 rideshare vehicles. Both of those won't occur this year, so we're taking out the related revenue and expense. The decrease to the capital revenue is about $1 million. And then the large piece is adding in the funds to purchase the public market property. So we've added in the 6.2 million, but with that decrease in the capital revenue, it's gone up a little bit. So our net change we're expecting to see is a decrease of about 5.5 million in our cash position. So our total expenses for budget are going up 5.5. That should reduce our cash. However, we did receive the WTA fund grant money that we were waiting on, the $12.2 million. And we're also going to be looking at asking for the 5307 money for operating. You'll see that policy come through in October. Once that's approved, we can request that. So our cash position should end up being a positive increase over at the end of the year.
So this is just a point in time.
This is just a point in time, correct? So we likely won't do another amendment unless we have another big event that we need to account for. Yes, that helps.
So this increase total is coming from this, the
The
total,
increase
like,
for the cap or the
for
purchase.
capital.
Actually, it will be coming out of our operating cash.
Oh,
So
from
we can-
operating cash.
Correct. We don't have enough in reserve, the capital reserve to cover this. So we can pull some from that and then the rest from our operating cash.
Okay. And is what vehicles we are not purchasing?
We are not purchasing 2 vehicles for the waterfront service. We are able to identify a vehicle that we had and use that. And then we had 3 vans for the rideshare program that we will purchase next year versus this year. So that one will really just move between years.
So I can tell from how it's spoke from reading that we have received the 12 million.
We did.
grant. We did.
Yep, we actually, when this was prepared, we hadn't, so we just got it, I think, last Friday. I think we got it last Friday.
These days, you're never sure.
So it was very fast once we were able to go for that. So really, the offset, right, is an increase of 7 million to cash at this point.
All right, further questions? Oh, go ahead.
I think we need a motion to adopt the resolution. I move to adopt the resolution. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Further questions, comments? All those in favor of adopting the resolution, please say aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you. I'm on the wrong screen. All right, next up, item F is the consent agenda.
Move approval.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you. Item G, board report, WTA's decarbonization strategies. Les.
Yes, thank you. So this is a loop back from the discussion we had in August, and trying to pull all the various strategies together to into one document that is displayed. The draft is up there. And Vicky has some hard copies for those that may want one in the room. But as you will recall, back in August at the workshop, we had a discussion with Transpo, particularly on the fleet mix. So before I hop into that, just as a recap, and we'll send this out afterwards for any comments board members may have. But the strategies are one, our fleet mix. We've got about 40% of our fleet is either electric or hybrid electric, using renewable fuels, which reduces tooth to tail about 60% of the life cycle emissions. Lowering our carbon footprint locally, which on the next page, and you can go maybe go to the top of the next page where it talks about those efforts and the offset local. That's through the Whatcom Land Trust and the Million Trees Foundation partnership, where we've been able to preserve 53 acres of forested lands in Whatcom County, which has been certified to equal 190 metric tons of carbon per year, which is the equivalent of about 2.5 conventional buses fueled with diesel, or 4.5 hybrid electric buses that are fueled with diesel. We're not using diesel anymore, but R99, so that number would actually creep up, which is one of the things we'll have to do is re-up that survey to see what those new numbers are. But you can see that's about 935,000 car miles saved, which is approximately 37.5 trips around the world. So you can see kind of where that's making an effect. And then the other strategy the board has adopted is reducing drive alone trips and setting the conditions for success there. So those things include the board having the new service down waterfront and down A Mountain where people are, trying to get people to hop on the bus there, planning for rapid transit, smart trips, our support to the Transit Access Fund, which is the partnership with local jurisdictions to improve bus facilities in coordination with projects that they have. So, for example, with the county out in Van Zant's, partnering with the county to put in an ADA ramp and bus stop, and those kinds of things there to help with that community project. Helping with support with bike lockers, city of Nooksack with a sidewalk to our bus stop and so forth. With the intent of increasing ridership, which helps with the environmental, while also partnering and getting accomplished infrastructure projects that are important to our partner communities. So it's kind of win-win-win for everybody on that. Continuing to work on our rideshare program, and that's been increasing. And then also the transit-oriented or transit-friendly developments, putting people where buses are, all with the intent of reducing those drive-alone trips. So you can see how all these strategies are working together, and wanted to get this documented. Not asking for approval on this at this point, because there would be decisions that come with each of these strategies as we're going forward. So authorizing the money for the Million Trees and Whatcom Land Trust, buying buses, those kinds of decision points, the Transit Access Fund, those things. That's where the decision points are. But trying to make it easy for the board or community partners to understand what we're trying to do and how we're trying to work forward on the environmental components of our mission, along with the primary mission of providing safe, friendly, reliable service, which has its own effect of reducing carbon emissions. So that's the intent of this, and so wanted to answer any questions before we go on. Yes, sir.
In terms of the first graphic with the 40% thing, and let's preface this with, we had the discussion where I think we kind of created community expectations that we're going to go to like a fully electric fleet, and then we talked about, okay, we can't afford to do that, hybrid electric. But if the plan is to purchase conventional buses to run on R99 in the future, wouldn't that eventually those electric and hybrids are going to be retired out, and that 40% is going to go down to 20%, 10%, or make it all up with R99?
Most of those hybrid electrics are new and have a 12-year life cycle. So eventually, yes, not in the immediate future. And what we talked about in August was trying to buy decision space to see, because there's a lot of unknowns and uncertainties that are out there right now, whether that's technology, whether that's funding sources, whether that's the grid, those things. So we were looking at ways of how do we buy time and decision space to get to that. And so that's why this is still reflected as one of our strategies, the appropriate fleet mix. But we're trying to buy that time to figure it out.
Yeah, no, I can just.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, myself in particular, my board members are maybe guilty in this position. We did create this kind of expectation that the direction was going towards at least hybrid electric stuff, and we can't afford to do that. It's a difficult thing to message.
Yep.
But yeah, it's 11 of the hybrids are brand new, so probably at least 12 years with them, and 8 of those 12 electrics are also brand new, so probably at least.
Do you mind if we ask it the other way? When is the first electric bus or hybrid electric bus due for replacement? When would this moment come we might not replace like with like?
7 years.
Yeah, I mean.
No, you're gonna have.
We have four.
We have 4 ones we've extended their life, so within the next couple of years, you're gonna have to make a decision on 4 of the hybrids.
But the electrics of the remaining 11 will be more a decade out. Tyler, you're absolutely right. The board made those decisions based on the best science and facts at that time. But
Not knowing how much the charging would cost.
yeah, and now things are changing and the environment's changing. When I say environment, operating environment is changing, funding sources are changing. The number of bus manufacturers are shrinking. The grid is still needs to be expanded to handle all these demands. And so this buys us decision space, and using the R99 with the 90% of the carbon efficiency, it buys us that decision space without a huge environmental impact, particularly on the back page when we're picking up and doing more of these other things as well and working all that together. It gives us that time to move forward.
A question about the R99 fuel, for the fixed fleet, for those vehicles, is there a drop of fossil fuel being used right now? Or we all on R99 right now?
Yeah, we're all R99 with diesel. There's not a replacement for regular gasoline.
Yeah,
but for
smaller
diesel, yeah,
Yeah,
diesel's all
So-
been replaced.
I didn't get that impression from reading this. If I read the fine line and know what's going on, I get that impression. But saying there's not a single bus in the fleet which runs on fossil fuel seems to be a true statement, but I don't get that impression here. And talking about using renewable fuel, I don't think people necessarily understand the other side of the coin, which is logically implied. If we're using renewable fuel, we're not using fossil fuel. But I think saying more clearly, there's not a single fixed route bus which runs on any fossil fuel in WTA. That's a clearer message. And then it makes the concern that Todd was talking about, like, if we can't grow our electric fleet component, at least we understand that the hybrids and the older buses, the conventional buses, there's not a drop of fossil fuel. I think there's a simpler message to say there's not a drop of fossil fuel being used to run any fixed route bus.
Just real quick, thank you for that. We'll definitely add it to this, but I also just want to let you know, we're working also on a messaging campaign, like an ad campaign, including on the buses, to make it clear that we've shipped back.
Any other questions, comments, concerns on this? We'll send it out to, and appreciate that one.
All right, thank you. Item H, other business.
I have one thing, if I may, as we were looking at Q4 board schedule, we've got regular scheduled meetings in October, including a board workshop on the 16th of October. As we're moving on, we've got I'll give you the bottom line up front first, that we'll be seeing from conceptual if you would be willing to have a special meeting on Thursday, December 4th. Reason behind that is we've got a number of potentially larger decisions coming up. One, it's a Thursday, December 4th.
December, I don't think that far out.
Well, that's what I'm trying to give plenty of notice.
Last council meetings.
And that would be a virtual meeting, correct?
Well, it could be a mix like this.
Okay.
But we'll have a virtual component to it as well. And the intent of that would be 1 hour for public hearing on fares. Anticipate that could have a lot of folks that want to talk. And so having a special meeting for just hearing that would be good, because we've got the service changes to have a public hearing and vote on the budget, public hearing and vote on the fare rates, public hearing and to potentially vote on, and then still remain remain optimistic that we may have a collective bargaining agreement by the year as well. So want to preserve space there as well. So trying to buy some time and space. The 4th of December is the first Thursday of the month, which would normally be normal board date, but because Thanksgiving's the week before, and trying to get the packet out over Thanksgiving weekend is harder. That's why we went to the 11th. So I'll pause there, see if conceptually boards will then work with you to see if there's conflicts. And because it is a special meeting, it could be on any day, it doesn't have to be on the 4th, just makes more logical sense. So if you're okay with that, then we'll reach out to your staffs. And, well, for those of you who don't, then add staffs. For those of you who don't, reach out to you directly. To coordinate. Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Already been moved.
All right, any other business? Announcements?
One thing that I did want to announce, you'll see, we were gonna play today a video partnership between WTA and Sea Feast, which is coming up this weekend. They have a super cute video of a crab riding our bus to Sea Feast down on the waterfront thing. So it's a fun video because it's
A real crab or somebody in crab costume?
somebody in a crab costume. Yes. Yeah.
This huge crab that somebody caught.
Nervous and they were.
Trained crab, come on.
Yeah, we had hoped they'd have a trained crab, but we've got a person in a crab suit riding, but I'll send that out. It's just a reminder for Sea Feast over the weekend. And then folks in the public can ride the bus down there to get there.
So I have one thing I wanted to share, that the people from my office and they came over to WTA, talk about the fairs for our ferry. I think that went very well. We were very happy to learn more because we don't have the depth to know about getting a software. We have one ferry, which is less than one of your bus. But the problems are the same. That when we change fares or people have tickets and trip tickets and things, and our fares are going high, we are looking for a solution. And I think what we learned is it may not be immediate, but we are also preparing to buy a new ferry in next 3 to 4 years, something like that. Yes, we have the money now. We haven't got the check yet. I think that we are very happy that what we learned, and still like to find a way that it can piggyback on some way, which is a possibility, but not sure. But we would like to explore more, so we may have some follow-up meetings on that. Our public works and my office are pursuing that. We thought that would be easier way for us to solve this problem. Otherwise, the investment is minimum $300,000. And then on top of maintaining and running that, everything, it will really add up for and will not be supported by the fairs. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, any other announcements? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Well,